Tatiana Kennedy Schlossberg, the granddaughter of President John F. Kennedy and an acclaimed environmental journalist, died on December 30th, 2025, at the age of 35. Her family announced her passing in a heartfelt statement shared by the John F. Kennedy Library Foundation, saying, "Our beautiful Tatiana passed away this morning. She will always be in our hearts." Born on May 5, 1990, in New York City, Schlossberg grew up in Manhattan as the daughter of Caroline Kennedy, a diplomat and the only living child of the late president, and Edwin Schlossberg, a designer and author. She was part of one of America's most storied political families, yet from the outset, she sought to define herself on her own terms. Schlossberg's path into journalism began modestly. In 2012, she worked as a municipal reporter at The Record in New Jersey, where editors recall her eagerness to prove herself independent of her family name. She went on to become a science and climate reporter, writing for the New York Times, where she covered environmental issues with a keen sense of urgency and clarity. Her reporting reflected not just an understanding of scientific data, but a genuine concern for how climate change affects communities. In 2019, she published the book Inconspicuous Consumption: The Environmental Impact You Don't Know You Have, which explored the hidden environmental cost of everyday behaviors. The book won the Rachel Carson Environment Book Award from the Society of Environmental Journalists in 2020. Beyond the Times, Schlossberg contributed to The Washington Post, The Atlantic, Vanity Fair, and Bloomberg News, and wrote a popular environmental newsletter. In November 2025, Schlossberg published a poignant and widely discussed essay in The New Yorker, titled "A Battle with My Blood," in which she revealed she had been diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia with a rare mutation shortly after the birth of her daughter in May 2024. Her writing chronicled the grueling reality of her treatment: months of chemotherapy, multiple bone marrow transplants, including one using stem cells donated by her sister, and participation in clinical trials, and the emotional and physical toll of living with a terminal illness. Even as she fought for her life, she worried what her absence would mean for her young children, fearing they might not remember her. She also used her platform to comment on public health policy. Schlossberg criticized her cousin, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., particularly his approach to vaccine skepticism and federal research funding as U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary, suggesting that cuts to research budgets could have real consequences for cancer patients like her. Schlossberg balanced her public work with deep devotion to her family. She married physician George Moran in 2017, and they had 2 children together. In her essay, she described her husband's unwavering support, recounting how he navigated medical decisions and cared for their family amid her treatment. Her passing, coming at such a young age, adds to the narrative of tragic loss that has shadowed the Kennedy family across generations. But those who knew her remember her not just for her lineage, but for her intelligence, compassion, and commitment to storytelling. Family, friends, and public figures, including her cousin Carrie Kennedy and broadcaster Maria Shriver, paid tribute to her spirit, describing her as a source of beauty, joy, and kindness. In her own words, drawn from a life passionately lived and honestly shared, while she had been defined in the public eye by her famous ancestry, her work, and the world she strove to protect, will be part of how she is truly remembered.